Man, the landlord of One Chance, One Life TV. I got the legendary Antwan Smith with me. How you doing today?
It's a pleasure to be on the show, man. Appreciate y'all inviting me to the show, and I'm excited to be here.
I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So first off, congratulations on 25 years in the game as a producer and a director.
Man, I appreciate that. Actually, it's probably a couple of more years if you include my film school years, but it's a pleasure to be able to still do what I love all these years later, still be making money, making new friends, and, getting presented with new opportunities even 2 decades after 2 decades in the game.
Yeah, for sure. So coming from Perrine, did you ever expect to have longevity in this game like this?
Man, that's a real good question. Coming from Perrine, look, especially during the era we grew up in, you either could be in the streets or you could be out there with a 9-to-5 job. So never ever did I think I can get in the film business and being it this long, making a living doing it, and staying out of trouble. I would have never thought that.
Right.
20 plus years ago.
For sure. So being raised by your father, your grandmother, and your mother, what's some of the best advice you remember receiving from them?
I'm gonna tell you, my parents, they split up when I was about 10 years old, back in the mid-'80s, and then pretty much after that, I was pretty much primarily raised by my father and my grandmother. And pretty much, my grandmother took over my mom's role because my mom moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and my dad, he always was the disciplinary in my life. So, he pretty much preached, focus on school, learn something, and be what I wanted to be. He didn't say be a lawyer. He didn't say be a doctor. He just say, look, focus on your books, and you basically be able to do whatever you want to do in life. And my grandmother just made sure I stayed clothed, I ate, and I stayed out of trouble. So, they gave me some good advice and instilled some good values in myself.
Right. So coming from a family that provided you with almost everything you needed, did that make it easier for you to stay on the right track?
I'm gonna tell you something. That's a good question too. Before I answer that question, I would say, like I said, I'm from Perrine, West Perrine, and I could tell the people that really didn't have a father figure in their home, or they didn't have a mom, or that good grandmother at least, you could tell what path and what opportunities they presented. You could tell early where they was going. So to answer that question, I would say, yeah, me having a stable home, having my dad around, having my grandmother around, still having my mom around, but really having my grandmother around every day, it really helped me stay straight because I didn't have no reason to be in the streets. Like, I had new shoes, I had a bike for every Christmas, I had birthdays, I had a few dollars in my pocket, so I was good with no reason.
Yeah. At about 20 years old, you decided to attend film school. How important was that decision to you at that time?
Yeah, y'all good with that information too. Actually, it's funny. I graduated when I was 18 years old, and I spent probably about a year just figuring out what film school I wanted to go to. And finally, when I was about 19, applied to film school. Got started film school. I think just before my 20th birthday, and it was a great experience, man. I went to a school called Miami International University of Arts and Design, which was right inside the Omni in downtown Miami, a.k.a. Wynwood now. And going to that school opened me up to great knowledge of film. Not only did we learn how to film and learn about equipment and camera, we learned about the history of film and why light is a light and why camera is a camera and why it turns and why film does this and that. And I think that helped me appreciate the craft of film because I had to learn about the beginnings of it.
Right.
And that made me appreciate how much it made me appreciate how lucky I am to do what I'm doing and how lucky I am to know how to operate some of this elaborate stuff as well too.
Right. Mm-hmm. So after graduating film school, how important was it to you to be humble and be willing to sacrifice for opportunities?
I'm gonna tell you something. Just coming from, a home where you had to humble yourself, it's just in my nature, and it was always in my DNA, just being humble. Like I say, I'm not no street dude, but I hold my own down. And, I I grew up with some pretty tough uncles that did their thing in the street, got themselves together, and my dad was real hard on me. Not hard on me, he was hard on me when it comes to discipline. And so having my uncles making sure I stay on the straight path, having my dad, my grandmother make sure I stay on the straight path, it was easy, like I say, not to get in trouble and to focus on my film career and my goals.
Right. So being a hard worker and building relationships, would you say that's what helped you to still be around to this day?
Absolutely. And then in addition to that, just wanting to succeed also helped me stay on the straight path. Like, who want to go on the streets to fail? Like, when you step outside this door, you want to win. And I think that's what kept me straight, because I know if I don't focus on what I'm supposed to focus on, I'm not going to reach my goals. And I think that kept me disciplined.
Right. Yeah, that's real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So December of 1998, you got an opportunity to work with Jay-Z and Timbaland. Seeing what those two have become, do you appreciate that moment even more now?
Yeah, absolutely. Early in my film career, when I was in film school, I had the opportunity to do some internships on some music videos. And my first 3-4 music videos, think about this. My first big, huge music video, I'm working with Will Smith on Welcome to Miami video. We did that September of 1998. Matter of fact, the anniversary coming up, we did that Labor Day weekend, 1998 on South Beach.
Right.
And that was like one of my first big music videos that I worked on, and was able to work with Will for 3 days straight. I was his driver when he landed at the airport, from the Opelika airport, and had to get to his hotel. And for the other 2 days, I drove around Jada and other people in their entourage for like the other 2 days. And having that experience, where you're watching Will Smith, the dude you have been watching for, at least in 1988, I've been watching Will Smith for what, 10 years?
Right.
Came out in 88 with Parents Don't Understand. Watching him and seeing what big movie star he was at the time, and being around that for 3 days straight, it really motivated me to be like, you know what? I definitely want to be in this business. If I get to hang out with this dude for 3 days, I get to chill with Jada Pinkett, who at the time, this is 1998, Men's Society just came out 5 years before. Jada Pinkett, one of the hottest females in the business at that time.
Right.
I get to chill with her for 2-3 days. This the business I'm supposed to be in.
Yeah. So back in the day, you received a $15,000 music video budget from Ted Lucas to direct the 100 Years video.
Yeah, but y'all boys good. Yeah.
Speak on the doors that opportunity opened up for you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Ted Lucas, I started interning for Superstar Records in like about December 1998. And that's after writing letters to Loot Records and Frank Murray over at, I keep forgetting his record label name back in the day, from Carver Ranches, Frank Murray. Ted Lucas, his people at his office, Debbie Bennett, who used to work with Luke, she answered one of my letters. This is before email. Email was around, but this is when people wasn't checking email. You had to write a letter. And I remember them calling me and be like, look, you want to intern? We got a music video we shooting next month for Trick Daddy. Come work on that. And that video happens to be You Don't Know Nan.
Right.
We shot that like mid-December 1998, and that was my first opportunity working with Superstar Records and Ted Lucas, and I stayed with them. I stayed with Superstar Records for about. I got with them in '98. I stayed with them pretty much until everything kind of unraveled a little bit, and that was like '06.
Right.
I was with them for 8-9 years.
So nowadays, what's your relationship like with Ted Lucas?
Oh, Ted is my mentor. My relationship with Ted is unbreakable. He's a mentor. He the one gave me my first opportunity. He the one kind of schooled me to the game, about what do people like him look when they pick music video directors, how videos should be shot, what they looking for. He kind of taught me the game direct. I didn't have to guess. He said, hey, if you're going to be directing this is how you got to be. And just being around him and being around his label opened a lane for me, because at one point, Trick Daddy was the hardest Southern rapper in America. Like in the 2000s, 2001, maybe 2002, Trick Daddy was like one of the hardest rappers from the South. And I was able to be around the Jay-Z's. I was able to be around T.I.'s and anybody that was anybody at that time, the Scarfaces and stuff. And it's all because Ted Lucas made it happen.
Right.
So
So you forever grateful.
Forever grateful, tell Lucas.
That's real. Yeah. So what does it mean to you to be a part of Slip and Slide Records and its history in the music game?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't brag about it much, but I got with Slip and Slide Records right when Slip and Slide Records became Slip and Slide Records. They was around a few years before. They put out Trey Plus 6. They put out the first Trick Daddy record back in like 97, which did okay. But it wasn't until 98 when Nan dropped. December 98 when Nan dropped on the radio. That's when Slip and Slide became Slip and Slide. And I was right there from the beginning. And not everybody can say, like, look, I was there from the inception of what Slip and Slide ultimately became. And I got to see Trina early. I got to see Trick early before he sold a lot of records. I got to see him in that studio. I met Rick Ross before any of you guys knew Rick Ross was Rick Ross. Like, I met him the summer of 2001. Rick didn't come out till 2006, but I met him in the office 2001 because, like I say, Ted has a unique eye for talent, and these are people that he signed to his label and turned these ordinary people from Miami into megastars.
Right.
So it was an extraordinary time.
Yeah. For the people that's unfamiliar, what role did you play in helping create the movie Bloodline?
Oh yeah, man, Bloodline, classic Bloodline. Bloodline. I was the co-writer and the director of Bloodline. It was executive produced by one of my other mentors, Fence from the Icons Music at the time, and it was his idea, his concept. We both wrote the script together. I directed, and he executive produced the film. And I never thought people would love the film the way they did. It was my first film. I didn't know what I was doing. But people from day one gravitated. This film is all over the world. It was bootleg. And when it came out years later, after the bootleg, it still sold thousands of DVDs. And you can go right now to Europe, and somebody who was in Bloodline get stopped in the street and say, hey, was you in that movie Bloodline?
Right.
So it's been an honor to be a part of that legacy.
Right. So in this business, how important do you think it is for like-minded people to find a way to come together and get money?
I'm going to tell you something, man. That was a great question. It's very important for like-minded people to come together and get money together or to create together, because imagine yourself, imagine, take a car with four wheels on it going in one direction. It's a smooth ride. But if you're in that car and one wheel going the other way, it's not going to be a smooth ride. So take that analogy and really think on that. Like, if you get with like-minded people and y'all go in the same direction, you're just going to get there faster.
Right. For sure. With the current success of Bitch, I Got My Parts, have y'all decided to get in business with any network yet? Or are y'all still independent?
Yeah, right now, good question. Right now, the Bitch, I Got My Parts show, a.k.a. Trick, I Got My Parts, over the last couple of years, we're in season 3 right now. The first two seasons, we got offered some really good deals, but the executive producers of the show, Corey and EJ, they holding out for something bigger, something like a big network deal. And we're in negotiations right now to kind of take the Trick Daddy show to a bigger platform. But right now, the show's doing well where we are right now. But we're going to be making an announcement at the top of the year.
Oh, the top of the year, huh?
Yeah.
So does everyone come together and decide who the next guest is going to be on the show?
Sometimes, like I say, Trick Daddy, he a legend in the game, so it's not hard to get guests. And sometimes people request to be on the show, and sometimes our executive producer, Corey, he'll just pick up the phone and be like, hey, Khaled, can you come do the show? Khaled, yeah, we can come do the show. And then sometimes I may get somebody on there, or I may make a call and be like, hey, you got time? You gonna be in Miami? Come slide by the show. And that's how I go down.
Right. So which guest on Bitch I Got My Parts were you excited to meet for the first time?
Man, that's a good question. We done had a lot of celebrities on there. I'm gonna tell you something. I got a couple of answers to that. Robin Thicke was a celebrity, singer and actor Robin Thicke. He's one of the celebrities that kind of wowed me when he came there, because Robin Thicke, I'm a big fan. I never think I'd meet Robin Thicke, right. But he came and did our show, and then I can't go any further without saying that meeting Ice Cube last summer.
Yeah, speak on that experience for us.
Listen, come on, man. I don't even want to give my age out right now, but just know I've been an NWA fan 30 plus years, since the late 80s, excuse me. And to meet Ice Cube, finally after 3 plus decades, it was, it was a dream come true. It was surreal, and he was cooler than a fan. And we swapped numbers. We text every now and then. And just to say that he a friend is amazing. And I got one more. Kid and Play. We had Kid and Play come through. Now, if you my age and somebody like Kid and Play come through, that's like, I don't know what the comparison is, but when Kid and Play came to the studio, man, I fanned out.
Yeah.
So those are my top 3 right there.
Yeah, for sure. So equipment-wise, when it comes down to the production of Bitch, I Got My Parts, what we talking like money-wise?
Yeah, the producer show like that, I won't, necessarily give all the numbers out there because some of the people that's bidding on the show,
right.
That's secret. But put it like that, but pretty much it take a few dollars to run a show like that because we in our first 2 seasons, we were shooting with 3 red Komodo cameras. Right, so shooting with the big Komodo, the big film cinematic cameras. And we had lights, and we had a top-of-the-line sound situation in there. And we had a full crew. We had about 6 people in there.
Right.
More than we needed. And so it take a little money to run that show. But with technology, now we was able to scale back. We now shoot with the, I may be saying it wrong, the PZT cameras. And those are automatic cameras where they're unmanned. You just work from a console.
Oh, okay.
And the cameras turn wherever direction you want to turn without a cameraman present.
Oh, okay.
So, so we're working on those cameras now. And so the show costs a little less than what it used to, but it's still top-notch and state-of-the-art.
Yeah, for sure. So the movie Cuzzo, how did that movie come about?
Yeah, Cuzzo came about, colleague of mine, Emmett Powell, he came to me probably about a year before the pandemic hit, saying he wanted to do a movie. And, everybody always come to me and say, yeah, Twan, I want to do a movie. We're going to do a movie together. And it never happens. But Emmett actually was very persistent. And right before the pandemic hit, he was like, look, I got my money. Let's go do this movie. Shot me the bread, and we was pre-producing the movie, and we shot during the pandemic. Actually, not during the pandemic. We actually shot after the pandemic. We shot in 2021, 22. And pretty much we put together, we hired a script writer to write the script. I came in and did a little bit of co-writing. Emmett did a little bit of writing himself as well, too. We was able to lock down, Glenn Plummer, for the role. Anybody know Glenn Plummer, OG Bobby Johnson from Men's Society, South Central, and TV shows like that. And we had Dennis L.A. White, who played D-Rock in the Notorious B.I.G. movie some years back, and he's on all the BET shows. We was able to get him in there, Kent Jones, and a few other heads, and Mike Smith. Like, listen, I was already a fan of Mike Smith movie, but he was handpicked by us to star in the movie. And I'm going to tell you something, Mike is an incredible actor, held it down, went toe-to-toe with Glenn Plummer, who's been acting 40 years. And it was a good experience. Cuzzo came out on Tubi, and Cuzzo's doing very well, very profitable film.
Yeah. So is Cuzzo Part 2 in the makes, or is that a rumor?
Yeah, Cuzzo Part 2, Emmett's putting that script together right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to be a part of it. I got other things that I moved on to, but more power to him, more power to my Cuzzo family, and to the Cuzzo franchise. I hope everything work out with them boys. Yeah.
So Scheme is the movie. When is the release date for that coming, and when can we expect from that? What can we expect from that movie?
Oh yeah, Schemers. We just wrapped up Schemers a few months back. We've been editing. We should be doing a screening later in the year, but the premiere that's going to happen sometime between probably January and April of next year, first quarter. We'll see a release date for that, 2025. Yeah. So
you're currently working on your first horror film, also, right?
Yeah, I got we got a little short film that we did. We shot called Don't Scream, and it's in post-production right now at the time of this recording. But we should be releasing that sometime later in the year. And, you know, my first jump into that genre, and I had fun with it.
What led to you jumping in that lane?
Well, you know, we had a client that came through with a script and an idea, and he came with the bag and said, "This is what I want to do." And you know, hey, the bag make you do things.
Yeah, for sure.
But beyond the bag, it was a genre that I had never tapped into, and I probably was scared to because I'm not a horror director. I'm more a drama and a comedy director, and I want to step up to and meet the challenge.
Right.
And I'm glad that I did. I had fun, and I want to do more.
Right. Mm-hmm. So a couple months back, you had Plies and Ball Greasy in your hometown of Perrine, Florida. Elaborate on that situation for me.
Yeah, we, you know, Plies and I, as everybody knows, Plies and I, we've been working together since 2007. So it's been about 15 years, man, 17 years. Plies and I have been working together. We've probably done about 8 videos together, and we've done some things off the books that people don't know about that Plies didn't even put out yet. And he comes to Miami every now and then and shoot some videos when he's passing through, and reached out to me to produce this one, not direct. We brought in a young director named Jay Lenz who directed the video, but I helped him get the locations. We helped him cast, and we got the equipment. And Plies just wanted to do a little quick video, a little quick viral video for the fans, and we knocked it out. And of course, I'm born and raised in Perrine. He asked, "Hey, Antwan, you got a place where we can shoot the video?" I know a place. I know an area, you know, where I'm from. And we brought him to Perrine, and he had a good time. The few people that was around, you know, they let the man shoot, showed him love. He took pictures with everybody. And Plies a good dude, man. You know, I know he catch a bad rap every now and then with the media, but he's a good dude, good friend of mine, and more power to him and bless up to him.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your affiliation with Love and Hip Hop Miami?
Yeah, Love and Hip Hop Miami. Well, being a part of the Trick Daddy show means you are a part of the Love and Hip Hop Miami family. They film our studio all the time, which means, and they film many episodes of the Trick Daddy cooking show. They, you know, because Trick is on the show, so him being on the show is part of their episodes. Right. And so they come in there and filmed us filming him, and I've been on Love and Hip Hop Miami for about 2 seasons now. The upcoming season, I think the new season starts in September, October. You'll catch me on about 2 episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
So y'all look out for that.
Yeah. Elaborate on your relationship with Noriega and DJ EFN.
Oh, man.
Drink Champ.
I don't mean to talk over you. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, man. DJ EFN, I got a lot of friends in this business. People I've been friends with, like my man Chris over here since before I even got into the business. But DJ EFN is like one of my best friends. Good, humble dude. Been knowing him before Drink Champs. And Nori showed me love from day one. I met Nori in 2007. And Nori did a movie with me. We done did a couple of videos together during that time. And we still stay in contact. But DJ EFN and I, we text every week. Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah. So, you know, they're my peoples for life.
Yeah. So how inspiring has it been watching what they're doing with the Drink Champs brand?
Man, super inspiring. You know, remember, like I said, I knew these brothers before Drink Champs. So to see that they took nothing and made it into something, man, how can you not root for these guys? And to see it as my 2 brothers doing it, got the 6-7 figure deal, and gonna continue to make more money and get more successful doing this, man, listen, I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. In your opinion, how important are film festivals for inspiring directors?
Film festivals are very important in a filmmaker's journey. You know, this is where you can see other people's work. This is where you can present your own work, and this is where you can make, you can network. Because you got other producers, other actors. I mean, people you've seen on TV, they frequent these film festivals. You know, pretty much the last maybe about 4 years, maybe a little bit longer, I teach in the fall at 2 of the film festivals.
Right.
Master classes in directing. So I had the opportunity to teach young filmmakers and educate them on the ins and outs of the film business. And I enjoy doing it. And like I say, film festivals are very important to a filmmaker's journey.
Right.
This is where you network and you connect.
Right. So who are your current top 3 filmmakers?
Right now, man, I'm loving Ryan Coogler. Right now, Ryan Coogler. I'm definitely my other 2 filmmakers. Paul Thomas Anderson, white guy director. He directed Boogie Nights and he directed a film called Magnolia. Some other films. He's always been in my top 5. And of course, you know, Spike Lee. How can you not mention Spike Lee?
Yeah.
So those are my top 3 right now.
So outside of being a producer and a director, who is Antwan Smith?
Man, outside of directing and producing, Antwan Smith is just Clark Kent. Superman and without the cape and in the suit. Now, all seriousness, I'm a father. I'm just a regular introverted guy. As much as you may see me in front of the camera, you may see me on TV, Love and Hip Hop, you may see me on the Trick Daddy show, you may see me, you know, just out there working with your favorite rapper. I'm a homebody. You know, I like to chill at home, watch Netflix. I like to eat and just hang out with the family, you know, and just a humble, quiet dude, despite, you know, who I am in front of the camera.
Yeah, for sure. What's the 3 most important things to know for all up-and-coming film directors?
3 important things, not in this order. You have to be humble. That's a big word, be humble. Being humble is gonna elevate you higher and it's gonna accelerate you faster. People, it's gonna attract you, the business that you're trying to get, faster, just being humble. People wanna be around humble people, believe it or not. The other thing is learn your craft. You have to master your craft. You have to be the best at what you do so that other people can see what you already see in yourself. And that's gonna bring you that work. It's gonna keep you in this business for over 2 decades. And the third advice would be just know your business as well too. Filmmaking is not just a hobby, it's just not just a passion, it's also a business. And if you're gonna be in this business for more than 5 years, you also have to learn the business of filmmaking. You know, you gotta know about invoicing, you gotta know about deadlines, you gotta know the type of client you're working with and the visuals you gotta bring to each project because everybody is different. So you got those the top 3 I would say you need to know and master.
Right. So in the early 90s, who were some of the biggest producers and directors in Florida?
In the early 90s, I'm gonna tell you some, like I said, in the early 90s, that's a good question. You know, in Florida, I didn't really know who were the top filmmakers on the scene in the early 90s. The late 90s is when I became aware of who was who, and I think my brother, my homeboy, my brother Malcolm Jones, he was one of the top filmmakers coming out of UM in the late 90s. And then, of course, I can't leave out my brother, you know, Kurt.
Yeah.
Them a world Kurt. You know, Kurt is so funny. He should have been my number 1 because Kurt been doing this stuff since the mid-90s. Curtis Ballard. He one of the first guys I know owned their own film camera. This is like mid-90s. This is like 90, 96, 97, 95, shooting his own videos, had a recording studio and everything, and really honed in on those top 3 things I just talked about.
Right.
He was one of the first people I noticed to do that. So yeah, let me correct myself. Curtis Ballard was one of the first early directors that I started to respect back early in the game.
Right. With all the millions that's currently being generated off content creation, do you think it's gonna slow up anytime soon?
I'm gonna tell you, it ain't slowing down, never, ever. Like, this industry only gonna get bigger. Streaming is just getting bigger. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, it ain't gonna never stop. It ain't gonna never stop. Like streaming, I'm gonna tell you something, I'm from the old school. I came up as a filmmaker where you wanna see your movies in the theaters. And then when streaming came out, I think us independent filmmakers, at first we was like, oh man, my movie never gonna get shown in the theater now. It's just gonna go to, you know, Maverick Entertainment and be on DVD, or it's just gonna go whatever. Now streaming is like the number one choice now, like for a lot of big filmmakers, including the indie filmmakers like myself. Streaming, you get your money quicker, and a lot more people is going to see it. And the streaming companies giving us independent filmmakers more opportunities to make movies. And what I mean by that is, I'll get a call more from, I'll probably get a call from Netflix first before I get the call from Paramount Pictures to do a film.
Right.
Because Netflix know the value in independent films and content. So
when we speak about the streaming and the, you know what I'm saying, the paying from Tubi and the Netflix, like, explain that process, like, for a filmmaker when it's time to receive their money.
Oh yeah, that's real good statement right there. Well, let's take Tubi, because I dealt with Tubi, and I have a couple of films on Tubi. Tubi statement, the Tubi, number one, to get the Tubi. This is for all you filmmakers out here that really don't know how the streaming game works. I'm gonna educate you guys right now in the next 2 minutes. Let's take Tubi. The way Tubi works is it's a platform that makes their money off advertising dollars. So that's why when you watch Tubi, you see commercials going through that thing 5, 10, 20 times. Because that's how they get their money, and that's how you get your money. And Tubi, you can't just go to their office and knock on the door. You have to go through a middleman, which the fancy word for the middleman in this business is called an aggregator. You have to go through a middleman or a production company that Tubi deals with. One of the companies I work with, that's my aggregator, is a company called Swirl Films. Swirl Films, if you watch anything on BET Plus, Swirl Films probably provided 50% of the content on BET Plus. All them independent, all them black films and TV shows you see, it went through Swirl Films. I know the owner, Eric, and real good dude. But now, as far as your deal structure with Tubi, when an aggregator takes you to Tubi, it's going to be an 80-20 split. You're going to get 80% of your profits, and Tubi and the distributor split the other 20.
Right.
Yeah, Tubi and the aggregator, they split the other 20%. And you're going to get a statement at the end of every quarter. So every quarter is 3 months in a quarter, and you're going to get a statement saying how many views your film did, and then they'll translate down to how much money you made. So the more streaming, the more people watch your content. It's like YouTube, it's like Facebook, it's like anything on Instagram. The more streams or views you get, the more money you make. That's why even when you put out an independent film, if you got $50 in your pocket to go do the boost on Instagram or something, or you got $100 to go spend some advertising on Facebook or YouTube, do it. Because that $100 that you spending for your own advertisement of your film, it may turn to $5,000.
Right.
In returns at the end of your 3 months when Tubi give you your statement. And pretty much that's how the streaming game works. Get an aggregator, do the deal, you're gonna get an 80-20 split, you're gonna see a check at the end of every 3 months, you're gonna get a check.
Right. So, like, break down, like, your route, like when you finna release one of your independent films, like take me through your process as far as the marketing, the promo, like what approach you take?
Well, pretty much before the pandemic, any independent film I did, the executive producer of the film, the executive producer is usually the one that paid for the film. They was able to secure a deal with a distributor on their own. Like my movie Fadeaway, which was Tommy Ford's last film, the guy from Martin, Tommy from Martin. Yeah. It was his last film.
God bless his soul, right? God
bless his soul. That was that was my uncle for real. Like that Tommy was a good friend and mentor to me as well. That film dropped in early 2018, and the executive producer was able to secure a deal with Sony Home Entertainment through some contacts he had. And but that's the catch I want to get at. Prior to the pandemic, before streaming became a big deal, you got to kind of know a person that can walk through the door to Sony.
Right.
And who knows anybody at Sony? I didn't at the time. I didn't. I don't know about Sony. I don't know nobody at 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. So you had to be lucky enough to know somebody. Now, since the pandemic, and everybody streaming is like the number one thing now. Now you can reach, like I say, you can go to Amazon Prime website right now and upload your film.
Right.
You can, although Tubi, you gotta go to aggregated. Those middlemen I'm talking about, those aggregators, they're in reach now. You can call that Homestead Entertainment. You can call Swirl Films. You can hit them up on their Instagram pages, online, their website, and I have my film. I want to submit it for you guys to take it to the distributor. And it's just that easy now. And that's the difference now. More, I can't think of the word, but it's more accessible.
Right.
Accessibility with the distributors now, thanks to streaming.
Yeah. So do you lean more into like investing your own money behind your films, or do you like looking for investors?
I'm gonna tell you something. You got a good line of questions today. I'm gonna tell you something. One of my regrets in this film business, and I have a few. One of my regrets is, as long as I've been in this business, I've never financed my own independent project, anything. I never put my own money into my own projects. I've always been a work-for-hire director.
Right.
And I would advise any filmmaker in this era, this new era, that if you're gonna be a filmmaker, get in the business to make contacts, to make friends, and to want to create your content, put money into your own project and be your own boss. And that's my advice to upcoming filmmakers. But yes, I have a project right now that a secret project I'm putting together right now, a romantic comedy called Suddenly Single. It's not that secret, but that's a project my writing partner and I, or Damien, we put together some years back, and now we got some investors that's finally willing to invest in it, and that's a project that I control, and we're looking to get that made next year, and I'm hoping that the profits I make from that movie, I get to take that in independently without no investor. I put the money up for my next film.
Right.
And keep that going. So
yeah, and I definitely gotta ask, what's going on with the situation you and the rapper Cameron been working on with the movie?
Oh man, yeah, Cam, man, that's another dude. Met Cam in 2010 on the set of his movie Percentages with Omar Gooding. That's why I met Omar Gooding as well too, baby boy Omar Gooding. Cam and I, man, Cam from day one, he's been one of the most stand-up artists I ever worked with, aside from like Trick Daddy and Trina. And we shot, oh my God, we probably did about maybe 7-8 videos together. And we were supposed to have done some movies together over the years too, but life happened, and he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. And he's been a little bit busy, so it is what it is. It's been one of the prominent podcasts or prominent sports shows, that's been on the air right now, and we haven't really been able to come together and plot the next project. But I will say this, because I know he's going to see this. His cousin Bang, just came home, and Cousin Bang, one of the funniest dudes on the planet, and we had posted dinner Cousin Bang movie like 10 years ago, and I'm hoping we finally get to do this Cousin Bang movie.
Right.
So that's I'm hoping that me and Cameron's next collaboration.
Yeah, for sure. So being in the game, man, over 2 decades, man, and still being able to get up and put in the work, like, at this point, like, what's the end goal for you as a director?
Man, good question. I see myself, I'm in my late 40s, I see myself directing to him at least 60.
Right.
Maybe 65. But my goal is to kind of fall back from music videos, which I'm kind of semi-retired with music videos, semi-retired. And I'm focused on just directing movies each year. My ultimate goal would be just to relaunch a new production company that produces films, that distributes films from anybody that need a film distributed. And I sit back and kind of hire my staff to kind of run the company, and I kind of just greenlight films, financing, and distributing. That would be my ultimate goal. Just kind of become the Barry Gordy of the situation.
Right.
Not quite being the field directing anymore, but to kind of sit back, help other filmmakers, and make money doing it.
Right. Yeah, that's a big plan. That'd be definitely big for coming from Miami. That'd be big.
Absolutely.
That'd be big. So you say you semi-retired from the music video, so what does it take for an artist to get a music video from Antwan Smith right now?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Now, the bag will make anybody come out of retirement now. That bag big enough, No, but all jokes aside, sometimes it's the music. You know, sometimes you hear a track and you gotta be like, I need to do that. I need to direct that video. I'm gonna tell you something. As quiet as kept, like I told you, I've been knowing Rick Ross since last about 23 years now. Ross had hit me. Ross came to the show a little over a year ago, and we reconnected because his number had changed, and of course I didn't get the new number, but we swapped numbers. He reached out to me. We ran into each other in December of last year, and then he reached out to me maybe about 2.5 months ago, because him and Ball Greasy was going to be doing a music video, and he wanted me to be the director for that because he was featuring him. And the video, they never ended up doing the video, but it was an opportunity for him and I to connect. And Ross is also venturing out into film and television as well too. And my goal is to hopefully maybe team up with him on a couple of projects, and get him in a position where he can just sit back, do the music thing while I'm over here getting money in the music business, in the movie stuff as a partner with him, right. And then take that relationship and launch my own situation, which you and I just talked about a few minutes ago, where I can sit back, let my staff do what they do, and I sit back and collect money. Right. So
it's all about putting in the work and building the company up as big as you could build it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so do you ever think about mentoring some of these younger kids coming in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, last 4 or 5 years, I've been doing master classes and directing for up-and-coming filmmakers and some established filmmakers come to my class. And I'm going to tell you something, man, I love really helping these young filmmakers. Even on my Instagram, at the time of this recording, I reposted one of my colleagues, Smitty, who has a studio called Trillion Studios. He did a master class for some upcoming dudes. And although it was on his platform, he made the money, I still put it on my page because it's more than just... If I'm benefiting from it, it's the chance for the kids that follow my page to go follow Smitty now. Like, look, y'all want to get a master class by somebody that's really doing it at the top of his game? Hey, here go the post right here. And I go follow him and hit him in his DMs. And I do that all the time, man, because I got in this film business for passion, not to become rich, although that's a benefit. One day it'll happen. But I really love doing what I do, and the benefit of being in this business that you can pull up youngins, and they come back and remember you. And let me add this before we move on to the next questions. I'll take some of the models that I've worked with, man. Back in the early the 2005s and 6 and 7, really the early 2000s, I worked with. A lot of these women went on to be on reality shows. They went on to be actresses. They went on to marry, athletes and end up doing their own thing. And these girls, when we see each other on Instagram, they Twan, thank you for helping me, putting me in these videos and stuff like that. I mean, there's a model called, her name is Yasmin Kadavid. She's one of the biggest Instagram influencers, I plucked her just off the street. We was doing a Cameron video back in 2010, 2011, and we just needed a beautiful Latina. And I see her just walking in the bikini on Ocean Drive, and I'm like, you want to be in a music video? Yeah. We put in a video. She haven't looked back since. She one of the biggest social media influencers in the world right now. Wow, and it started with me. I plucked her right off the street, put in her first music video.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though.
Yup. So
if I'm somebody with my own budget and I'm trying to put together my own independent movie,
yeah,
how can I get in contact with Antwan Smith?
Well, listen, if you're not privy to having my personal contacts, I check my DMs pretty much every day, every other day. You can hit me up on Director Antwan Smith on Instagram. You can hit me up at Antwan Smith 305 on Twitter, and I'm Antwan D Smith on Facebook. So I'm available. I'm accessible.
For sure, man. And to wrap this thing up, man, like anything else you want to leave with the people, man?
Yeah, I just want to say, before we get out of here, I just want to thank you guys again for having me on your platform. I'm a fan of this show. Of course, I'm going to be promoting this. And the people that follow me, that support and do what I do, if y'all support me and y'all love the things that I do, follow this show, subscribe, like their page, subscribe to the platform. Instagram, YouTube, with Twitter, which I know y'all kind of put this on the bottom of the screen somewhere. So y'all make sure y'all, my people who watching this show, y'all make sure y'all support these boys' show. And what I will leave with the people is just look, this is we're in the entertainment business. For the people that's trying to be in the entertainment business, like I said this early in the conversation, is if you want to have longevity, whatever how you say that word, you have to be humble. You can't come here and think you're the biggest star in the world because there's always somebody bigger than you, and nobody want to be around that energy. One of the reasons why I've been in the business so long is not because I think I'm the best director ever or I put out the best work in the last 20 years. People mess with me because I'm a good dude. And they know that when they come to me, I'm gonna give them my all. I'm not gonna cheat them out of their money. And I'm gonna call them every day until they happy with their project. That's why I get work every day, not because I had the best looking video, because trust me, these youngins killing me right now. I'm an old head. These youngins coming in, shooting the video today. It be out tomorrow on MTV. Like, these boys is doing it. But my people mess with me because I am humble. And I know my work, I know my craft, and I communicate. And you gotta communicate. That's one thing I left out with those top three. You have to be a good communicator too.
Right.
So I would say communicate, be humble, and know your craft, and make friends in this industry, and that's how you're gonna stay around. And that's how you're just gonna be a good person anyway. Just be humble.
Right. And how important is the discipline, man?
Listen, it's not hard to be disciplined to a craft, whether it's film, music, podcasting, content creating. It's not hard to be disciplined to something you want to do. If you like to eat every day, it's not hard to make sure you eat your 3 meals a day. It's something you're just gonna do regularly. So treat your business like that. Treat your business like that. If you love to do it, give it the proper respect and time that it needs to nourish, to flourish.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Any shout outs before you get out of here, man?
Yeah, definitely. Want to shout out my man, shout out Charles, of course, shout out my man Chris, shout out Curtis Ballard, he was in the building. Shout out, to everybody that supported me throughout my whole career. Like I say, Ted Lucas, my man Fence from Icons Music, my man Kevin Spence, my producer, all the rappers, all the entertainers, Trick Daddy, Trina's, the Rick Rosses, my whole Superstar family, CO, EJ from the Trick Daddy Show, my family, my kids that deal with me not being around as much as I could have been over the years because I was out shooting every day, out traveling. Just thanks to everybody support me, continue to support me, support shows like this, all the big filmmakers that's out there, all the rappers, the Ball Greasies, the Rick Rosses or whatever, support shows like this. Because these are the people, shows like this, these are the people that's going to really give you the real love, not that fake love. They're going to really push the product. They're going to make sure you look good, and they're going to make sure you always have a platform to come to when you're not hot.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're not hot, I want you to understand that. When you're not hot, you can always come back and sit in this chair.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
For sure, man.
Shouts out to all my supporters, man. I appreciate everything, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man, and help the YouTube channel to continue to grow.